Hello, hello, all my friends. Today is Tuesday. Tonight is Tuesday. You are not used to seeing me at this time of night. Don't worry. It's 8 o'clock at night. I wanted this guest badly. I would have taken her at midnight. So before, let's have some tea. So this is my nighttime tea. This is Journey to Wellness with her turmeric ginger and all like that. It is flaming hot. And of course, we're going to be talking about some hot topics right now. I have the amazing Dr. Randi Nelson. Background is she went to school. She has an accounting degree. She has an MBA. She's a doctor. She's a pediatrician. And we're going to talk money. We're going to talk about stocks. And we've been having a wonderful time. And I've been weeping on the counter when she tells me all these things I didn't know. So you know how I roll with you guys. If I know something, I want you all to know too, because knowledge is power. And, you know, we build this whole community. You guys have been with me so forever. Every time I say, come to this, you come. So it's only fair, it's only right that we also take this financial journey as well together. Dr. Randi, welcome.
Hello, welcome.
Well, first of all, what's in your cup?
So I had a kind of busy day, exhausting day. So normally I would drink, like my morning tea is like, my black tea with sugar and milk.
Oh, you go there.
But I went back to that today because I needed something. I don't know if you can see it. So it's like a black tea with my milk. Normally I do something else, something that just calms me. But I needed to go back to my comfort.
That's okay. It's a comfort. It's a comfort. Every once in a while, yeah. Every once in a while, I get out my Earl Grey, and I don't put sugar in it, but I put a little bit of in it, and I'm like, ooh.
I have a sweet, so I like my sweet tea.
It's like, Earl, where have you been? I miss you so much. So hey, my love, tell me, where were you born?
Well, I am a first generation American. I was born in Brooklyn, New York. But my family's from Jamaica. They hail from Jamaica.
That's right. I thought I heard a little Jamaica coming.
I have a little tinge of it, a little tinge. Well, that's what people tell me. But yeah, so my was born in Brooklyn. My family's from the island of Jamaica. So I'm first generation, and lived in Brooklyn for a couple of years, and we moved to Long Island. And I'm still on the island, and so that's my background. First generation American.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, first generation American, Jamaican heritage. So I'm a Long Islander. I live on Long Island now, Long Island, New York.
Lovely. And so when did you decide you wanted to go to Well, let's start first. What was your undergrad?
So I, backing it up a little bit before undergrad, I wanted to be a doctor, but I didn't think I can do it. I don't have any doctors in my family. Well, my family came here, like most of my relatives, hard workers, but blue collar, like my mother was a data entry clerk. My father worked in hospitals like an orderly. But we didn't have any doctors. We didn't have anything like that in my family. And we didn't have really, like in my community, it was one doctor in the community, a Haitian doctor, Dr. Pierre Lewis. Never forget him. I still remember. But that was really it. So I didn't think I could do it. Went to University of New York at Buffalo, upstate New York. Majored in accounting, did that. That's what that's what my undergraduate degree is in. And came back to New York to work, or worked in the investment banking industry.
Oh.
Yes, for 14 years. During that time, I got my MBA at Hofstra University. A lot of the presidential debates have been there, on Long Island as well. And so undergrad was strictly business. That took me right into investment banking. I worked for two of the largest financial services firms in the world, Morgan Stanley,
Okay.
This investment bank, I was with them for 8 years. And then I finished my banking career as a vice president with Citigroup. And when I left, Citigroup was the largest financial services organization in the world.
So one day you just got up and said to your boss, "I'm going to become a doctor."
Well, a couple of things happened. I love, when you're young and you're working in New York City and you're working in investment banking, it's exciting. It's really, you're making good money, you're making more money than your friends, you're exposed to so many things. That's like, New York is that's where Wall Street is the heart of finance.
The epicenter, that's the epicenter,
Yes, it's the center. So, doing that was fun. But then, when I got a little older and I really started to think about my career, the trajectory, I said, I don't know if I'm going to do this, because that's what they value. They value young and, you're on a certain track, blah, blah, blah. Didn't know if I wanted to go that route, but two things happened. In year 2000, my father died, and that, kind of made me reevaluate and think about what I wanted to do. You have such a profound, it was a profound loss for me. So it really made me thinking about what I wanted to do. But then the nail in the coffin was 20 years ago, we experienced September 11th. This Saturday is the 20th anniversary of the collapse of the World Trade Center towers. And my Citigroup's headquarters was just 5 blocks away from the trade centers.
Wow.
And I witnessed it firsthand. Like, I was an eyewitness.
Really?
Yes, an eyewitness to everything. I saw, not to relive the whole thing, but came into work 8:30. Our hours were 8:30 to 5:30. Came in at 8:30. We heard that a plane crashed into the buildings, and we're thinking it's a little Cessna, like a little commuter plane.
Right.
Someone says, "Oh, come over to the window. You can see the hole in the building." And we get over there, and this big gaping hole in the one of the towers, one side of the towers. So we're like, okay, we're trying to figure out what's going on. Didn't think terrorism at that point. Went back to my desk. Some coworkers saw the second plane hit. That's when we knew that something was wrong. So we ran out of our building. Our building wasn't high like the towers. I think we were like on a 9th floor. So it wasn't like a big deal to go out. But that was, after that, I'm like, after experiencing that,
right.
After, initially when we all came back, because I was out of my office for like 3 weeks because they used our building for triage. So when we finally got back to the building, we used to have like all these sessions and, these psychologists would come in and we would have like, all these, everybody was like, oh my God, we got to do better. We got to live a better life. That's the talk. A couple of months later, we went right back to being who we always were, maybe even worse, more cutthroat, more. Yeah. And I said, no, this is not what I want to do. So that summer, so September 11th was 2001, 2002. I remember what really that summer I decided, I remember I was working 4th of July and I said, why am I working 4th of July? I'm not a surgeon. I'm not a doctor. I'm not saving lives. I'm here crunching numbers for the bigwigs who are like on their yachts or in their summer homes, right, while we peasants are at work on this gorgeous day. We're away from our family. So, at that point I said, I'm gonna do what I originally wanted to do and live out what I thought was a bigger purpose. Right. And then that fall, I enrolled in prerequisite courses for pre-med while I was working. Right. And 2 years later, I finished those. In the meantime, I got promoted to vice president. So no one had a clue that happened. I'm like, I'm on my way to med school, but whatever. So So I did that. And yeah, 2 years later, that was 2002, I made the decision. 2 years later, I started applying for medical school. And then I started medical school 2005 at Stony Brook School of Medicine.
Wonderful, wonderful. Glad you did medicine. But also, hey guys, I'm talking to Dr. Randi Nelson. She is a pediatrician, so we're going to be switching gears, but she's also a person with a lot of financial knowledge and experience. She has an MBA, and she also is the author of a couple books. And one is, yes, Ladynomics, volumes that she was showing you, volumes 1 and 2. Yes, that is volume 1, the purple one, and the white one is there you go. And I have volume 2. It's on my Kindle, so you can also get the Kindle version of it as well. So don't mess with us. Doctor, tell us, into the, a lot of people who had big businesses, self-employed and all like that, the pandemics, we lost a lot of money. We weren't able to run our business. As you guys know, I wasn't able to be in the stores with my teas and candles, and I was begging you guys to be sure to shop with us. But there's something we need to talk about, and it has to do with the stock market, because I was just talking with you and I understood that I was looking at stocks. So for example, I thought, I'm going plant-based, and I was thinking plant-based. So I thought, okay, let me see what's happening with Beyond Beef and Beyond Meat and Beyond those things. And when I looked at them a couple weeks ago, they were like $200 and something, and I'm like, oh, I can't buy those. And then today I looked at Square, and Square is way up there because we're using Square. But I do know that we need to have some sort of relationship or some sort of knowledge about the stock market in that vein, because interest rate is like 0 now. I mean, so it's not something we should be close to. So help us out a bit.
Okay. So I know that this, like, investing, well, let's go back to the whole, like, the pandemic. And let me tell you, everyone was affected. And small business owners, especially, even doctors. Yeah. This pandemic was really unusual because one day everybody's just doing what they're doing. You're selling your teas in stores, and we're seeing patients in the clinics, everything. And then the next day, everything shuts down.
Yeah.
Took everybody by surprise. And either you were prepared for it or you weren't. So like you said, small business owners, all of a sudden they couldn't do anything. Whether you had a restaurant, your restaurant was shut down.
Yeah.
Yes, there was like stimulus package, and there was help for self-employed and contractors, and if you were employed. But that took time, that took months to get those monies. I know, like, on my side, the doctor side, like, if you had a clinic, you could still, even though you're a doctor, you could be an entrepreneur if you had your own practice. You had to stop seeing patients. You can have patients coming in. And I know doctors who were surgeons and who had to take significant pay. I know doctors who had to take 75% pay cuts.
Wow.
If you are not prepared for that, that can really, I don't care how much money you make. If you are getting 75% less,
that's devastation.
That's
devastation.
I don't care. That's money. You're living your lifestyle, whether you're living above your means or within your means. You have your lifestyle based on a certain amount. And if you don't have like a reserve or something, that can really, like you said, be devastating. So I think the key is, like, the word that comes to me is pivoting, because I noticed that during that time, not everybody was losing money. Like, I noticed that, like, people who were telling, like, t-shirts were making tons of money during the pandemic. I'm in a lot of business groups. A lot of people who did online businesses were doing well. So I think it was a matter of like businesses, like clinics. They couldn't see patients in the office. We had to go to telemedicine.
Yeah.
So for a good chunk of time, maybe like for 2 or 3 months, we were seeing patients. Like in this kind of venue, like this kind of medium. So pivoting, like having a plan B. I think if anybody, if there's anything to get out of this, is to think about other ways to conduct your business. And you know, we didn't have to think about that. Like I remember, like I think about our clinic because I'm a fairly new entrepreneur, so I know I was things were tough for me because before I was doing talks. Right. I was able to sell my books at these events and, make contact and that stopped for me as well. So I had to start thinking about like different other things. Like I'm like, okay, I need a product that I can sell so that when I'm not in a particular pace, it can continue selling. So that's what I'm working towards, something that can make money while I'm sleeping, right? So I think pivot it and start thinking about other areas of ways you can make money. Going back to the clinic example, like one minute we can have, our clinic is full of patients, next minute not. We turned to telemedicine so fast, the platform didn't matter. It's like, as long as you can see the patient, you can use FaceTime, you can use Doximity, you can use whatever, Zoom, whatever, as long as you do. It was kind of amazing. And I learned a lot from that. Being able to pivot, being able to find another way, because I'm a doctor and I have a business. So yes, I can always follow my salary, but if your whole livelihood is dependent on your business, you got to start thinking.
So pivoting as it relates to finances, pivoting is another way, and look at your business structure and say, are there many ways I can do it in case?
Yes. In case. Or not even just in case, maybe it's something you could implement right now so that if something like this should happen, it's already going and running. It's just another revenue stream. So, like I always like I said, I'm a new entrepreneur, so I'm, learning that side. But I always say that first, if you are a business owner, your personal finances should be on point. Like you should have as little debt as possible, personal debt. You should have a reserve. Just in case, you hit some obstacle, like in our case was the pandemic, if you need to take out a loan, banks were very stringent, like right away. Banks were like they were making things, restricting credit. Like, I remember I had a conversation with Bank of America and for refinancing, and they were saying, the representative was saying, oh yeah, like before the pandemic, a person can refinance at a credit score of maybe 620 or 640 or something like that, something low. After the pandemic, you have to have like a 700, 740, because they wanted to make sure that if you do refinance that that you show that you're credit worthy. Suppose if you had a business and you needed a lifeline, like say like a line of credit, to keep things going, or to pay your salary workers or whatever. If you had a stellar credit score on the personal side, or even on your business side, or if you had strong business before, but say you didn't, say you just started out and you had to rely on your personal credit, boom, you would have gotten that line of credit if you had a nice score. So like your personal finances, you try to keep that as pristine as you can, because then you can concentrate more on your business side. And I teach that. I that's one thing I stress. So that's one thing, pivoting, definitely looking at different areas, even in, I parallel it with your personal finances. You should have different streams of income. long gone are the days where you work for one employer and you're there from the time you were 20 to the time you
Well,
retire.
that's not though, because a lot of times people say to me, "Oh, you're doing so much," and it is said not complimentary, but
Mhm.
criticizing. And another thing, they think that the wellness business and the tea business I have is a little side hustle. And in my head, it's my $1 million business.
Well, that's where it counts. Who
Where
cares what they think? That's where it counts.
and sometimes I say, no, no, don't say that. If it's somebody I like, I say, don't say that, because you don't know how many companies Oprah has. Over
Right.
100 companies,
Right.
200 companies.
Right.
So we've got to get out of that mindset of the day job or the one little thing. Because, for example, if your business was to go into offices and clean offices, well, they were closed and they weren't cleaning.
That's it.
So if you didn't have a little something
right.
else, then you were really in a bind. So I think one of the things we need to hear, particularly professional women, is because I think there is a psychology that goes with being an entrepreneur, because it's a different animal. And there is a one that makes you highly successful in the 9 to 5. Well, I say to everybody, we all need to look at everything, because you never know,
You
right?
never know. You never know. And you know, like, you know, even if you are, you know, what I've learned as a business owner, it's like, okay, if I'm doing, like, I have my financial wellness business, right? That's my umbrella. There's a lot of things I can do with that. I
Yeah.
could sell online classes. I could sell my book. I could do Zoom meetings where I'm, talking about different topics
And
and
women's retreats and having
yes,
financial wellness.
yes, exactly. Or coaching.
Yeah.
I do coaching. I'm a financial coach, so I do that through Zoom. I can't do that. So there are different ways that you can do multiple things under your umbrella,
Let
right?
me tell you something I think we're weakest at, and that is with stocks. And so for example, sometimes we feel it's beyond our understanding, or we feel like we have to have a lot of money. Help us, educate us on that route.
So great segue, because if you have a business, or if you're personal, these are different streams of income where you can, these are the different streams that I'm talking about. I believe as a entrepreneur, you should have or just even if you're not an entrepreneur, you should have 7 streams. You should have at least 5 to 7 streams of income. Okay. And one of those streams is invested in the stock market. And I know, sometimes I take for granted, because I have such a steep history or steep experience with the market, because, I worked in investment banking for 14 years in New York City. But during our pre-conversation, and we were talking about, you said, oh my God, Beyond Burgers is so expensive. I'm like, well, no, there's ways to get it. You could do something called fractional shares. You don't have to buy one full share.
So we're talking about when it's like one, it's like my finger, one.
One whole. So Beyond Burger, we just looked up, one share of not Beyond Burger, Beyond Meat. Beyond Meat is what makes Beyond Burger, right? One share of Beyond Meat was $1.15 per share.
Right.
You can go whatever platform you use, say, for my non-401k or 403b accounts, I have Robinhood, I have Fidelity. I can buy, say if I want to just buy $50 of Beyond Meat, I can do that. I can place an order for $50 of Beyond Meat.
But okay.
That'll be and that'll translate to a little less than half a share.
So I TD America, I didn't see no half a share on there. So how would I access that?
So you have to look and see what the platform is. So I'm gonna go into Robinhood. Like you have, like I know you can
tell me about Robinhood, because I've been hearing about Robinhood. I looked at it. So I looked at it last night. I'm like, no, you ain't gonna Robinhood my bank account. So when you're telling me, Lorna, no, I swear I did.
Well, you know, you have to look at the platform. There's so many ways to invest. I mean, there's so many like different avenues now. You know, before, back in the day, you just had like Charles Schwab or
Morgan Stanley.
Well, if you were the high net worth people, you had the Morgan Stanley.
But I know the name. Work with me. I know the name Morgan Stanley.
Exactly.
Morgan
Stanley would see you if you had less than $1 million to invest. But there's so many different ways, and Robinhood has gotten a lot of heat in the past year because of some things that occurred, especially during the pandemic, in terms of investing, because everybody just went open up tons of accounts with Robinhood, and there was some problem. But I like it because it's very easy to use. You open up an account and you can start trading. And Robinhood was one of the first platforms to have no fee trading, like no commission. They didn't charge you $4 or $5 for a trade, because before them, if you wanted to make a trade on Charles Schwab or TD Ameriprise or Fidelity, you had to pay
like $7 for
exactly. The reason why we don't have that anymore is due to Robinhood, because I think it's very easy. Like I said, that's where I have my fun, my play like stock money. So yeah, like I was giving you an example. I wanted Tesla stock. It was dipping in price, but it was still $600 a share.
Yeah.
Before they did a split, and I'm not going to get into that, but before they did a split, Tesla was selling for like $3,000 a share. They did this split that made it more affordable, but it was still like $600. I said, you know what? Tesla is the way, you know, it's the future. I believe electric cars, they've been instrumental in that. That's where we're going. Maybe in 10 years, all of our cars are going to be electric. So they've made headway. I want some stuff, but I don't want to pay $600 right now. So what I did was I bought like a quarter share, like or maybe half a share for like $200 or $300. Right. And then I started adding to that. So I know that's something you can do on Robinhood. PayPal, you can buy stock.
And I have PayPal. So okay, let's finish with Robinhood, because I saw Robinhood. I'm like, what kind of hell of a name is that for a thing? You're gonna steal my money. So you know, Robinhood, you stay over. I literally quote the book, but I'm certainly glad to hear you say that. Don't be scared, Lorna.
Yes. It is, the market is once you understand the fundamentals, and once you
that's the word, the fundamentals. Yeah.
Because you should never just jump into something without understanding it, right? So you should understand what the stock market is. You should understand what the Dow Jones is. Okay, you hear it on the news. Oh, the Dow Jones dip by
somebody who doesn't know what is it? What is that?
The Dow Jones,
right?
Okay, so you know, every day, maybe if you watch the news, like I watch the news all the time. So if you watch the news, you'll say, "Oh my God!" Or you'll hear, "Oh my God, the Dow Jones is down like 10%. It's down 200 points." The Dow Jones makes up like only like maybe 50 stocks. I believe it's 50.
Really?
50 is just 50 stocks, and it's like top-notch stocks, like the bread and butter, like GE, IBM. I think Apple is part of the Dow Jones now, but it's just 50 stocks. And basically it's just the market value of all this, it's like the market capitalization of all those stocks, those 50 stocks. And basically it just reflects the stock prices of those 50 stocks. So usually if so the things that can affect the stock market, anything that hits the news. So if you watch it, like I think the stock market is down.
Like the pandemic is certainly going to do that.
So, okay, so like for example, during when the pandemic hit in March, all that uncertainty, right? The market, I don't know if it crashed. I don't remember how far down it went, but
down, but I don't think it crashed. It
did crash, but it
was a
went down.
Yeah.
Down. A lot of stocks were at bargain prices. So usually like the market is reflective of anything that's affecting those particular companies. So like say like all news is reflected in the stock market. And like this is like a whole different conversation, but it's reflective of like anything can affect the stock market. So like the Delta variant.
Right.
It went like when the Delta came, when it hit the US, we knew what it was doing in India. When it hit the US, the market kind of decreased because, people were afraid that we might be entering, not that we would have another lockdown, but we may have restrictions again.
Right.
So they were worried. What people sometimes do is when they see something that's not so great, they'll pull their money, like they'll sell whatever stocks that they have. Yeah. So that'll bring down the market. Like any kind of news can affect it. So, and for a particular company, the same thing, it could be the same way, like Delta and like I have Delta, I had what other the airlines, exactly.
Also, the market was the Beyond Meat was affected by,
yes, we talked about that
variants because of the lockdown in restaurants.
Right.
They lost, according to what I read, they lost about 50% of their
yes.
worth, the valuation of their stock.
Right.
However, that didn't happen to Amazon. Amazon went up 87%.
Yeah, because Amazon, like, Amazon is like a big company. So it has food delivery service. It has,
everything delivery service.
Everything delivery service.
And we stayed home. And right. between Amazon, Jeff Bezos, and Tesla, Elon Musk, their network went up $200 billion.
Yeah, because that's what people were doing, was shopping. During the pandemic, like the pandemic was weird because yes, you had, it was like you had this dichotomy. You had a lot of people who were out. Oh my God, I can't even remember the full number, but like millions of people, tens of millions of people were out of job. But then you had a lot of people who were home, working from home, who still had, like a lot of.
When the virus hit first, I was afraid to go out.
Right.
Everything got delivered. So you got primed up. If you didn't have Prime, you got Prime up. And they delivered it to your door and you washed it down and then you took it inside. So we're essential. But let me go back. You were saying that PayPal, we're talking about Robinhood.
Oh, right. Yes. How to buy stocks. Yes.
Right. And then you also said PayPal has stocks now.
So you can buy stocks through PayPal. Like you could buy, yes, there's certain stocks. I can't go into it right now, but yes, you can use PayPal to buy stock. You could use Cash App. A lot of the kids nowadays, well, not the kids, a lot of people have access to Cash App. Right. You could buy stocks through Cash App, and you can buy fractional, like small. If say you want to buy $50 of whatever stock, you don't have to buy a full share. You can buy whatever that $50 can buy you. If the stock that you want to buy is $25, that'll give you 2 shares. Right. If the stock is $100, you get 0.5, 50% of that share.
Right. So, and also that's a good way of getting used to the market, right?
Yes, see, that's what, yes, yes, I think that's like with Robinhood, and I keep going back to them because I
But
think
I liked that because I'd heard a lot about them, and I heard that they had become an equalizer of the market, and then there was a shutdown, and then people, their followers were so strong that they made the market reverse whatever adverse reaction they had to
mhm.
Robinhood. And but then I still was like, I don't know about this Robinhood business.
It's just you do everything through an app. It's very easy. You just buy what you want. Um, and you have it, you sell what you want, and it's very easy, it's very simple. And for someone, I think for someone who's entering for the first time, like you learn it, you could buy $10 worth of stock just to play around and see how things work. I have Fidelity. I didn't look. I have Fidelity for my 403b, and I have it personal for one of my holdings. And I find it to be a little bit more complicated than Robinhood. But what another thing that you want to look at the platforms, you want to look at what they offer. Some of these, like the Fidelity, TD Ameriprise, they have a lot of information that you might have access to, a lot of research reports. Because when once you start learning how to pick stock, once you're learning, you want to have access to as much information about that particular company so that you can make an educated decision. You want to see how their profit is going. You want to see what kind of growth potential they have. If it's an older company, you want to see if they give dividends. That's another way.
Yeah. Because I like your portfolio. I think should have some dividends.
Yes, that gets reinvested. Yes, in your portfolio. Like I have about 4 or 5 stocks that I get dividends at various times throughout the year. And that's money that's just coming into, it's what the company gives its shareholders after, like profit that they're giving back to their shareholders. So, you may want to, you look at that kind of thing. You want to look at analyst report because we're busy people. We don't have time to do like those technical, analysis of a company. A lot of these analysts will tell you this is what they feel this company is a strong buy. We believe that this company is going to grow, so you should, think about buying this stock. They'll tell you the reason why. So there's a lot of information out there. There's tons of information that can help you. But the key is to read, learn the basics, start small if you want, and then grow from there. I mean, like my account, I was looking at my accounts, and for my 1 year return is 118%.
Yeah.
So I've made more money than I put in.
Yeah.
So that's why we should not shy away from getting involved, because it's a great way to build wealth.
And also too, one of the things we talk about everything as women, I'm telling you all, I'm not going to be talking about foolishness anymore. So when you come to me, you have to come right. That means that I want you to say to me or text me. Please don't text me any more jokes. I mean, they're kind of haha funny, but sometimes you all know that I'm not a joke person. So I don't know why. I think it's people who don't know me who send me these jokes, and some of them, they're not even funny. Send me a report about a stock. That's what I want now, because we can be playing around and our whole life is going to hell in a handbasket.
It's fun because I have like 2 friends, like I call them my accountability partners, but they're my best friends, right? So we, like, when the market was down, it didn't scare us. We said, oh my God, this is the time to buy because everything is dirt cheap. because the market is down. Everybody's afraid. They're selling like crazy. So the demand is down. Like my friend, she got Apple for like $200 a share.
No way.
Couple of months later, it doubled. So that's how her portfolio. Moderna, Moderna vaccine. I bought Moderna at $80 a share.
It is now $300 or $200.
Yes, it's trading. It was at $500 at one point. It's trading over $400. Once you get in and you start following, you'll be amazed. Like one of my other friends who never did anything with stocks, never. I think she bought her first stock purchase besides her 401k, because most people have that, have something like that. But that's kind of like your company is kind of running that or managing that. But she said she looked at her account and she's like, I made $1,000 on something. And she couldn't believe it. She couldn't believe how her portfolio.
Things what I want this conversation to do is not necessarily tell you what to buy or anything like that, but it's to trigger some awareness.
Yes.
So for example, we know that everybody is shopping at Amazon, particularly during the pandemic. So that should trigger something to you. What are people using? People are buying a lot of toilet paper, storing it up. So you don't want to go look at a toilet paper company. Just little interest things like that. Before the pandemic, Uber and Lyft, there was a time they were going. Now in the pandemic, we know Zoom. So start looking at Zoom or a Zoom-like company that is coming on that maybe.
Right. But like I said, once you get in, once you start like following, I would recommend, like, if you really want to get some basic books, you could start with mine.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you can start one because it's very easy to read. But there's tons of books out there. If you're on Facebook, join some of these investment groups. Just join. And then, you may not understand the language, you may not understand what they're talking about, but after a while, you will. Sometimes it's about language, it's just about understanding. It's just about making that first small step. And open up a small account. Like I said, it could be anything. Open up any kind of account and invest $50 and just start watching and seeing what happens, or put some Amazon. I keep going back to Robinhood because I play around with that a lot, but Robinhood, maybe some of the other Fidelity, I'm sure Fidelity has it too, watch lists. So if there's companies that you're interested in, put them on your watch list. You don't even have to invest with them. Put them on your watch list and see how their stock fluctuates. Look at the news for a particular stock, because it'll tell you, I have Dodge. Dodge was that meme stock, that meme coin that people were going nuts about a couple of months ago. So I have it. I bought it for less than 2 cents a share, a coin. It's 30 cents a coin now. But when I see a dip, a dip, or if I see it rise, one of the first things I do is Google, hey, what's going on with, why did Dodge increase? Or I put Dodge in and see what all the news. When it dipped a couple of weeks ago, it was because China said that they're not going to be accepting cryptocurrency. So that made the stock go down. Elon Musk says, when it was going high, he's like, well, we're going to start accepting Dodge as a payment for Teslas, or some company says they're going to use it for this. Boom, the stock goes up. So that's all.
But the news also will mean something different to you. So instead of listening to the salacious part of the news, But also, why I like your book is that let me tell you something. Get her book, because a lot of the basic things that you need to know, such as earnings per share, which is EPS, she explains what that is. Return on your equity, a row, which is not the fish. It's not part of the fish. It's not the delicate part of the fish, the delicacy part of the fish. It's return on equity. I love it. So here's the deal. This becomes your little Bible, right? And then when you finish, it's called Ladynomics, Volume 2, A Woman's Practical Guide to Becoming a Financial something.
Financially healthy. Yep.
Okay, good. Right. So it tells you that. And it also has a section for you to take notes, right? Yes. So maybe I need to get the hardcover unless because it becomes your Bible that you walk around
yes.
with, and you just flip it when you're having your morning tea, not morning coffee. You're like, okay, all right, what did Dr. Randi say about this, right? And talk about your balance sheet and whether you're a moderate investor. It's good stuff, right? I have the Kindle version of it, and I'm not gonna lead you guys astray. So that's what we do, because here's the deal. I'm serious as a judge that we're going to help each other up, and we're going to have wonderful conversations about money and look like we're smart and be smart and start watching the business news.
CNBC is great. I tell you, like I said, you start my book, but then once you get that foundation, you start tuning into CNBC. You start going on Yahoo Finance. Investopedia is great. There's tons of information. Kiplinger's is a great online magazine. I love Kiplinger because it really deals with personal finance, and it goes in. Start following some of the gurus out there. It's fun once you get it, and it's fun. And it's not just about, oh, I want to make money. That's not why I do this. That's not why I'm involved with that. I want women to be prepared. I want women to be empowered. I want you to learn what you need to do so that when you sit in front of the financial advisor, you know what they're talking. They're not talking to you. You guys are talking with each other. Right. And you can have a hand in, you're not passive. You're not a passive financial person. You really know, and you're taking advantage of everything that's out there, not these little savings account that's giving you 0.5% interest.
I know. I was like,
right.
Did you forget that I have $100 in the bank?
Actually, you're losing money because inflation, right? If inflation's 3% each year and you're only getting 0.5%, guess what? You're losing 2.5%. And
I'm like, but last year I gave you $100. How come I still have $100? Did you guys forget that I know it's a little bit, but did you forget to give me a little something? Inflation took care of that.
Right. So that's the goal. There was a survey, I think it was Fidelity that did this survey, like a survey, a study. And in the study, it stated that, I think it was Fidelity, I'm not 100% sure, but it stated that when women have conversation with money, like 90% they don't discuss it, but 75% of them want to. I might be switching the percentages, but they don't do it, but they want to, and they want to learn. They want to learn.
I do believe that. I do believe, and I do know some of you guys are really strong investors and all like that, and that's lovely. So just come on home. Let us have this great conversation. We're gonna go. We got to go before it's midnight. But here's what I would like. Well, first of all, how can people reach you? Because I believe that you can help a lot of people. A lot of people.
Yes. So I can be reached. Like I said, I'm an author. I do coaching. So if you ever wanted coaching on this, on whatever topic, I do coaching, but I can be reached at drrandibmd.com. There's a contact me. We can set up a complimentary 15-minute discovery session. Right. And we can discuss, like I have some coaching clients right now. We are doing phenomenal thing. Oh my God, like really life changing, because money is like, and if you follow me, you'll know my story and another, why this is my, my why. But there's a lot of emotion. It's not just there's a lot that goes into it. So, you know, my goal is to change our relationship with it and not to be scared of it and not to let it run us. We run it. And to leave legacies for the people we care about, you know, to be able
church
to
and whatever, and your school and your university,
everything, your children, whatever,
everything.
Whatever.
And I like how you started with I have this is cool. Dr. Blondale, I will get back to you soon. That reminds me, when you shop, this is a good call, because when you guys shop with us at desert-sage.co, 50% goes to support the work I do in Jamaica and in Africa to help reduce maternal infant mortality. And that was one of my doctors from Jamaica calling me on WhatsApp. So you all go to desert-sage.co and shop. One of the things I'd love to do, Dr. Randi, is every once in a couple months, sort of get you back. By then we'll have a group of thing and we'll all be on Zoom, and you can check in to see how we're doing. If I ever open Robinhood, because that sort of thing. Next, guys, listen, write this down. March 19th of next year, 2022. It's when we're going to be doing our literary event right here in DeLand, and it's going to be Athens Theater. And I think that we should invite Dr. Randi as one of our authors.
What is that?
March 19th, 2021.
I'm putting that on my calendar right now.
So you have one of your first authors, Dr. Randi, and that's our money order. So we're going to get a chance to see her live in person. We're going to do some wonderful things. We might do something private at my home with those of you who are her clients from down here, and we can sit with her in a private session. Lots of wonderful things. You know, that's what happens when we women, when we get the little bit in life, we pull the idea is we pull each other together. So guys, listen, get her book, because this is the book we'll be studying, and so you'll be able to testify to her March 19th. We're going to be at the Athens Theater. So listen, Dr. Randi, I'm out of here, and thank you. Blessings to you.
Thank you. This is wonderful. I love it. So
I'm going Robin Hood out.
And it could be any medium.
But any medium, but no, I did look at that last night, and so I got it. I got you. Blessings to you, and we're out of here. If not, we'll be here.
Bye.